And welcome. Thank you for joining us live on this exciting presentation, compliments of the new season. Apologies for starting very, very late because we had some serious technical challenges. But I'm excited that you are here and I'm excited that you have made it towards this far. So what we are going to do today is we are covering the 15 ideas that you need to that you need to think about, fresh ideas that you can try for your marketing. That's going to help you for a good year in 2022. And this is a 2-day event. We have today for an hour, and then we have tomorrow again to finish that one. So today we are going to discuss a few of the ideas, and then tomorrow we are going to finish off and have all of them on your side. So firstly, I'm excited that you're here, and I thank you that you've chosen to make this year a better year for yourself. And I'm sure that these ideas are going to work for your businesses. Definitely, they have to be adjusted to suit your particular environment and to suit your particular industry. But I'm sure they're going to get you thinking and start being creative around these areas. So without wasting a lot of time, I'm just going to go. So our ideas are categorized in 5 categories. The first category is lead generation ideas. One of the commonest challenges that businesses have when it comes to marketing is that most of them do complain, or most of them do say that they don't have enough leads, or the marketing department or the marketing people are not generating enough leads for the salespeople to then convert and then have real value. So the first group of ideas we're going to look at are ideas that can help you to generate leads that can bring value to the business, leads that can make the sales department more excited. There's this common challenge between the sales department and the marketing, where the sales department says that the marketing people are just making a lot of noise, they're just doing this and that, but they're not bringing in quality leads. And then the marketing department is also complaining that we are generating a lot of value in awareness, and the sales department or the sales people are not converting them into value. So these ideas we are sharing, first, the lead generation ideas. They're ideas that when you apply or when you use them, you're going to generate high value leads that are going to be convertible when they go to the sales department, or if it's a small company, when you try and convert your leads, you will be able to convert them into actual customers. So the first idea is you consider start teaching. I know this sounds maybe odd, like how does this fit into a marketing idea? All right, so one of the realities is that when you do teach your audience, firstly, they gain you gain their trust. They trust you more. Secondly, when you teach people, they start to kind of congregate or gather around you because they're getting value from you. All right. So what you have to do with this is you have to discover the gaps that are in your clients' lives and start teaching on those gaps. So one of the things that you have to think about is you don't necessarily have to teach what you are offering. You don't necessarily have to teach the things that you are doing or the service that you are offering to your customers. You might have to teach something that the audience that you are targeting just needs in general. Of course, it has to be related to what you do, but not specifically the things that you offer. All right. So I'm going to give you an example. An example would be somebody who is into a boutique, who has a boutique, like a fashion shop, like a clothes shop, all right, or is into fashion, or has a designer shop or designer label. They might have to start teaching people on how to look their best, like how to match colors, how to certain type of clothing that you should wear when you're going for an interview, when you're going for a sport outing, what should you wear and stuff like that. Now, having those things, even though they may not be teaching directly, they may not be showing people which type of clothes would suit them directly. They're just teaching in general information which their target audience would need. And what this would do is it will bring high quality people around. It will bring the type of people that our audience around your brand, and you will be able to then share with them the marketing messages that you need to share. All right. So one of the challenges when it comes to teaching is your colleagues. So we have two types of audiences here. There's audiences who are already in your industry. There's people already in your industry. If you're into solar, for example, there are people who do understand solar already. There are people who are already installing solar and all this. And most times when we say teach, and you're an expert in a specific industry, when you hear the word teach or hear somebody says start teaching, you may be tempted to start addressing your colleagues and to be teaching them the advanced things about solar, how the sun, how the angle of the solar moves and works, and more these complicated things. Or if you're a marketer, you are supposed to teach. You're then supposed to share very complicated things about marketing, but that would be a mistake because the audience that you serve may not be experts in the domain. So you have to think about the customers. And when you are teaching, you might have to start with the basics, like why is solar more important than electricity, and why would this be more important than that, or types of dressing styles. When it comes to dressing, if you are somebody who is maybe having a driving school or something like that, you might be teaching about the process of actually getting a driving license, the types of driving licenses that are there, and the requirements, the age restrictions and everything. These would be examples of maybe things you could actually be teaching your audience. And as you teach these people, and when the more basic your topics are, the more you gather people who are just entering your industry, who are really new customers in your space, and they will be able to be attracted to you because you are feeding them the information that they need. Maybe you're a dentist and you are trying to teach. You could be teaching oral hygiene, and these are examples. If you're somebody who is maybe an investment business, either an insurance company or a bank, you could be teaching finance management right from the basic tips. So why this becomes of value is that you then are able to gather around your brand or around what you do, the people who are starting out in that industry, the people who are learning or developing in that industry. And this positions your brand with people who are maybe making their buying decision or considering buying from you. And by the way, clients who find you knowledgeable and find you as an expert are the ones that trust you and are going to stay with your brand better. So this is a brilliant marketing tool. All right. So when you're going to start teaching, there are some tools that you're going to need to do your teaching well, or that we think you might need. The first one is called Answer the Public. So Answer the Public is a website that when you put in a few words that represent the product you sell or the services you offer, it's going to give you a whole list of questions that customers ask around that product or around that service. So Answer the Public then helps you with kind of what do you have to teach about? What do you teach? And so you get the questions that are asked there. And when you ask those questions, when you answer those questions, those are the things that you start to teach about. And then so you go ahead and look at answerthepublic.com, and then you see how it works, and you can see what I'm talking about. Then the next thing there is simplify.com. Simplify.com is an artificial intelligence tool that helps you with your writing. So what it does is you give it your content ideas, or you can write something in your own way, whatever level of English or language you are at. And then when you put it in on simplify.com, it will be able to advance or develop or improve the presentation or your writing style in a way that is more, it is in a better way. All right. So it doesn't change the message. It doesn't change what you're trying to say, but it just presents in a better way. And that will be teachable. That will be useful, especially if you're trying to teach using written content. Then you may want to have a YouTube channel where you have video content for long-term results. So if you're teaching something like oral hygiene, you have a beautiful video done, you put it on YouTube, it's going to be useful for the next many years and as people interact with it. Then you may also consider a website blog where you have a section on your website where you teach on specific things, you write about specific things, those lessons, those teachings you have, and you put it up there, and it's going to help. Another thing to consider is LinkedIn articles and the LinkedIn newsletter. So the first idea, once more, is you may consider start teaching something in 2023. As you start teaching something, group of people is going to gather around you and learn from you. And those people, if your teachings are well thought through and you know your target audience well, you're going to gather your target audience and your potential customers around, right? The second idea you have to think about, the second idea you have to think about before we go to that slide is you have to think about lead magnets. One of the things that why we discuss this thing first about being able to generate leads is because we're going to talk about ideas of getting loud, ideas of being seen by many people, ideas of getting your brand out there, or what we call making noise. But one of the commonest challenges we have is that people make noise, but they don't have a way of then gathering leads or collecting leads from that effort of making noise. So we started with this lead generation section because we feel that it's important that you have your lead generation ideas in place so that when you then go out to make noise or become loud, you then have an automated way or some way of getting the leads to come through into your business. So there's something called a lead magnet. So a lead magnet is something that you offer your potential clients in exchange for their contact information. So you offer people valuable information or a resource instead of in exchange of their contacts. What this does is it makes you be seen by them as somebody who knows, and definitely they need this piece of information. So they are going to exchange their contact with you definitely because they want it. And so when your lead magnet works, all right, you might have to advertise it or push it forward. We're going to talk about this in another idea to come, where we talk about social media and how to use social media to push lead magnets to reach more people. So you have to actually advertise your lead magnet so that more people would see it and exchange their information with you. All right. So a good lead magnet is only possible when you know who you are targeting. When you know who you are targeting, then you are able to generate a good lead magnet. So if you have no idea about who you're selling, most people would make a mistake of saying that we are selling to everybody, but your product has different use cases. This is called buyer persona development. So for each use case and the type of user, you then have kind of a segment. And for each segment, you might have to develop a buyer persona that targets that particular segment, and then you will be able to get them on board. And you will be able to get them on board as leads and then sell them your services. All right. So examples of lead magnets could be for a clothes shop. You could offer all the people who visit your website or your platform 10% discount on their first order. So when they make their first order, you could offer them 10% discount. And why would this be useful? Because all the people who then take or that offer of the 10% are people who are planning to buy or planning to use it one day. And as you are giving them the coupon for 10%, you're getting them the names and the email, and you'll be able to talk to them later about your other opportunities. Then for a driving school, you might give people a lead magnet, for example, of how to prepare and pass for a driving license test, the different stages, depending on which country you're coming from. If it's in Zimbabwe, the provisional stage, the going to the road test, show them the tips and everything that then it's everybody who is going to drive a school needs to pass. So for this to happen, then that becomes a lead magnet that you're giving out people for free, and they are giving you their contacts. For the dentist, they could also do a lead magnet on effective temporary remedies for a toothache, like how do you stop a toothache? Maybe the types of painkillers that are going to work, any home remedies that are going to work, what people could do, whether they could put ice, whatever. I don't know. I'm not a dentist. I'm not an expert in that area, but that could be something that would be useful as a lead magnet, that somebody who is in deep pain right now could just be Googling, and then they get that as a lead magnet for free, and then you will be able to sell them services or show them that you have the services later on. And then for a company which is in investment, you could show them how to own a house at 30, the step that they could take from maybe age 21 or 24 when they finish with college or university. And then from that time to the time they become 30, how can they own a house? What do they need to do? What are the types of income they need to have? Whatever professional advice there is for that. So handing over this or giving over this, if it makes sense at all, it would be a way to then attract all these young people who are looking for a way to invest. And these guys are the people that are the potential customers for this investment business. So this would be a way of generating high quality leads that will be convertible as we go. All right. And then, so the tools that you need, again, you need to answer the public, because it shows you the questions that these people are asking. You need to simplify it again, because if your lead magnet is going to be a document or some kind of content, you then need it written in a professional way that helps you to present the brand as the best in the market. Then there is a new tool there called Unibounce. So Unbounce, sorry. So Unbounce is a landing page generator tool. One of the mistakes that people do when they're doing digital marketing is that they create campaigns and send the people from social media and all this email and everywhere into their home pages. But the homepage won't be talking about the specific offer or the specific campaign that they're talking about. So to solve this problem, there are things called landing page generators. So for each campaign you do, let's say we are pushing out a lead magnet of how to prepare and pass a driving license test. All right. So we then have a landing page specifically for that lead magnet, where people can then fill in their details and then immediately get access to the lead magnet that we're offering them. So Unbounce is a tool that you can then use to quickly be creating landing pages that look beautiful and convert well, and be able to do that on a scale instead of having to add website pages which can be a complex way. Then there's another tool called Hello Bar. Hello Bar is the website pop-up tool, which is where you are able to offer people services. You're able to offer your lead magnets to the visitors. Anybody who comes to the website, then as they are going out or they're scrolling this direction, the pop-up comes and says, would you download this? And all the people who download and takes that offer then become the leads that we are talking about. And you have to now use your social media to push the lead magnet. So the campaign would look like this. You would go, let's say, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on Instagram, and then have a campaign where you are actually some people would call them boosted. Some people would call it boosting, but let's just call it a campaign. So you have it as a paid campaign where you are now offering the people on those platforms the tips or the lead magnet, which is how to prepare and pass for a driving license. So you then put money behind it so that many people see it, and then you're driving traffic from social media to go into your landing page that you made using Unbounce. And then people fill in their details, and then they get their leads. And then so they get their lead magnet, and then you have gotten your list of leads. So if you do this would be a very fantastic lead generation campaign. It will be very different from you creating a flyer for the driving school and then going to all these platforms and then push it out. Why? Because people would see sometimes and take your number and put a like and everything, but it would be difficult for you to talk to the people that have liked or interacted with your thing online again, unless if you use advanced techniques, right? But the easiest thing is get their contact and be able to talk with them anytime you want without having to pay anybody again. All right. So now, before we move on, I just want to talk to you about an opportunity of something that we are launching on the 17th of February in 2023, which is the Afro Digital Marketers Network. What we have seen in our 5 years of helping marketers to with skills and training digital marketers with various digital skills, what we've learned is that digital marketing is fast changing. People who have been experts with really techniques which were working years ago are not working again. So people we trained several years ago may not be as sharp as they were when they just finished the course. So one of the things, and also another challenge, is that many marketers are lonely. They don't know who to ask and where to go. And sometimes you don't really need a course. You need just a place to reference. So the network is going to be very useful, and it's going to be offered. Just to give you a sneak peek, it's going to have something that we call the Digital Marketing Operating System, which is a list of procedures on how to do specific tasks in digital marketing. And there's over 400 of them. So a procedure would be, for example, how to audit your Facebook page, how to create a social media how to have a social media content plan. So you have all those things in place, and you can always, as part of the network, a member of the network, you will be able to access these things and use them in your own business at will. And another big advantage is that our network is going to be city-based. So right there in your city where you are, we are going to have the network there. So you will be able to have monthly events with marketers in your city, where the rock stars of your city, the guys who are gurus in your space, will be able to share something, and you'll be able to help each other in a more knit together, in a group which is knit together, and have your networks grow. And then over and above, we have a digital platform, which is an application where all the members of the network across Africa in different cities will be able to network and connect and be able to share business cards and share business opportunities. On that same network, we have job opportunities and so many more. So I'm sharing this with you so that you can head over to the AfroDigital website, and there you will be able to sign up for the network, so that when it's launched on the 17th of February, you will be able to get access to it and get going. All right. So the next thing that we are going to talk about here is the next example, another way for you to generate leads in 2023 is try speaking and attending events, right? So if there are no events in your space in the industry, that is an opportunity for you to create one, and then gather your customers, gather people in your industry, and be speaking there. One of the things that speaking at event does is that it positions you as a brand. It helps with your personal brand. Definitely. It also, the organizations that are doing this are seen as the industry leaders, or perceived as industry leaders. So it's important. And I've learned from experience that people would ask in the street and say, hey, do you know somebody who is good at Facebook ads? They rarely ask, do you know a company which is good at Google Ads? Then if the person who is at Google Ads is attached to your brand, is attached to your company, then the high quality business leads come through that person. So try and learn how to speak, and learn and try to speak at an event. If there are no events at all, you might have to create your own events so that we have that chance. And also, just the last tip, that try not to turn down opportunities to speak. Sometimes we get busy, sometimes there's a lot happening in our own lives, and we are not able to attend certain events, but try and not turn down an event to speak. The reason being that an event to speak, an opportunity to speak is an opportunity to meet new people, is an opportunity to interact with more people. And most times when you have your talk at an event, it's going to be put online, and it's going to have that lasting effects. So try and not turn down opportunity to speak, because they are really big doors for branding. So how would different businesses use speaking and events to their advantage? For example, the clothes shop could do a presentation on personal branding at a CEO conference, showing the CEO why they need to dress up well for different types of events and all this. It may sound obvious that people at that level are aware, but we have different types of CEO who are coming from different backgrounds. Some people were just engineers and then they became CEOs. So some people were doing other jobs which they didn't have all this type of training as they were developing. So such a presentation would really position the brand better, or even show the current trends in terms of dressing and appearances and everything. That would really help in terms of generating leads. And then driving licenses and employment, showing maybe students at university or students who are in school why they need, by the time they graduate, they need to have their licenses, because it does have an effect on their employment opportunities. Then there's an issue of the dentist and oral hygiene. They could talk about personal care and confidence, and be speaking to high school students why their personal care and their appearance, and even college students and all things, even in companies. It helps when you take care of yourself. It helps with your confidence, and such type of a talk and presentation could be useful. So a talk on financial planning for early retirement. And speaking this at career at association conferences, like and the engineers board is having a conference of engineers, when the accounting board is having a conference for accountant, and then this investments company gets a slot to speak for about financial planning for early retirement. That will really be helpful. So speaking does generate good quality leads. And here are the tools that you need. You may need social media accounts to build your personal brand. It helps. And then you also may need Simplified, where you enhance your writing and ideation, where in terms of as you're doing your blog post, how it works here is as you going for speaking, people are going to be Googling you, are going to be checking who you are, and having these things in place helps the opportunities that you create with speaking to be materialized so that you can experience them more. And then having a WordPress site, a personal website would be a good idea as well. So because of our time today, this is where we'll end it. I will carry on with the rest of the ideas tomorrow.